This is coming out of Denver, so we just, we need to highlight it. It's a Black woman who is struggling out there a little bit. Because in a groundbreaking move for wellness and cannabis culture, Denver welcomed its first cannabis spa, Pure Elevations Cannabis Spa and Salon. However, just weeks after opening its doors, founder Rebecca Marquin is now grappling with the challenges of keeping the spa operational. Rebecca launched Pure Elevations in September, making a significant milestone in the cannabis hospitality industry. Yet the high cost of running a cannabis business, along with stringent federal and state regulations, are making it a tough road ahead. The experiences of other and local establishments like Tetra Lounge and the Coffee Joint illustrate just how challenging it can be to secure a license and operate a cannabis consumption lounge in Denver. Marquin's journey into the cannabis industry started 3 years ago, just after new laws were enacted to allow cannabis hospitality businesses in Colorado. But her passion for cannabis and wellness stretches back even further. In 2011, following a near-fatal car accident that left her with broken neck and multiple fractures, she faced a grueling recovery process. Pregnant at the time, she was prescribed a cocktail of medications that ultimately led to a devastating side effect, including the loss of her baby. Eventually, I started getting so sick that I ended up losing the baby, she recalls. It was during this challenging period that Marquin discovered the healing properties of cannabis, which provided her relief from anxiety and depression. Driven by her own transformative experiences, Marquin envisioned a space where others could find similar relief. I want to help other people, not just those with anxiety, but those dealing with various issues from depression to cramps, she emphasizes. However, turning her dream into reality has been fraught with bureaucratic obstacles. Finding a suitable location was a major hurdle, as cannabis hospitality regulations restrict operations near schools, daycares, churches, and other dispensaries. Ultimately, she found a home for her spa at 185 South Santa Fe Drive, just 8 blocks from Denver's Art District in Santa Fe. Once the location was secured, she faced a lengthy process of obtaining licenses and permits from both state and city authorities. While Colorado's approval came relatively quickly, Denver's took longer, pushing her opening date from April to September. Even after opening, many people remained unaware that the spa existed, largely due to restrictive advertising laws that limit how cannabis businesses can promote themselves. At Pure Elevations, guests can enjoy a variety of self-care services, including soothing massages and THC-infused hair and nail treatments. The spa features a full-service cannabis bar with products from renowned brands like Green Dot, Mary's Medicinals, and Ripple. An outdoor consumption lounge adds a unique touch, offering a comfortable seating and fire pits for colder months. However, despite her initial excitement, Marquin is now facing the grim reality of slow business. We've accomplished so much, but the last month has been really slow, and the costs are piling up, she admits. The expenses associated with running a dispensary, including insurance, licensing fees, and employee wages, are significantly higher than many realize. Yet, despite the uncertainties, Marquin remains determined. I don't want to have to come this far and then have to shut down before we even have a chance to succeed. She shares her vision for the future is hopeful. 5 years ago, if you would have asked me if this place would even exist, no. To think what this place could be in 5 years, I can tell you, but the sky is the limit. Pure Elevations is open Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday at 10 a.m. And this sucks. I hate to see this. It's a really beautiful story of someone who found their own personal healing in cannabis and tried to share it with the community. And, once again, regulations, delays, and those things are pushing this poor woman's dream back. So if you're in Denver, go check her out, but I'll throw it back to you guys. This is another example of how the government is really screwing up legalization and making it impossible for operators to operate.
This is sad, and we had high hopes for Colorado's hospitality model when it was first coming out, because it seemed a lot more feasible than the other markets that had tried it, and a lot of people were looking forward to that.
Yeah, and one of the issues of that is the same thing that we've seen in California since Prop 64, and that's that home rule jurisdiction. The way that the state law was written was meant to make it a lot easier, but then you see places like the city of Denver and the city of Englewood and other cities that are pushing back and just creating so much red tape that it's making it functionally impossible for these people to successfully run their businesses, and that sucks, especially for this. I think a cannabis spa is a really great idea, and I hope she's able to survive.
Mm-hmm. Sohum, when they did their consumption lounges out there, did they allow them to sell food?
That I don't remember off the top of my head.
Like there wasn't like restaurants. There wasn't like restaurants.
I don't think they do, because Tetra does it, and if anybody was going to, it would be Tetra, because they also own a hotel in Denver. The owner purchased that as well. So I don't believe that they are allowing food.
Jenny, is that the bed and breakfast on Capitol Hill? Did they bought that one? Or is it a different
No,
place?
he bought, oh my God, what's the one that turned into a club at night? It's the most LA place in Denver ever. You know what I'm talking about downtown? I'll think of it. I'll think of it. Shout out Dwayne.
Is Jenny Beth? Is Tetra? Was that castle hotel? Was that the one?
No, that's the bed and
that's-
breakfast that I was
that's-
talking
It's the
about.
bed and breakfast, which I don't believe. I don't even know what are they still open? I don't think.
I haven't heard anything about them in like 6 years.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing. No, Tetra was in the Arts District. It was a really cool warehouse space, indoor outdoor kind of vibe, like exactly what you think it's like, right? It's like if you pick your stoner basement and then make it a little nicer and put bigger couches in there and then give it a backyard. That is Tetra.
You mean my parents' back porch?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Some of the most difficult discussions that I have to have with people when they have a dream and they found cannabis fixed them is to sit down and go through the problems they're going to face in trying to open up. And that if you try to have cash flow too early, you're just dooming your business. And when you have to deal with local jurisdictions, it's difficult, if not impossible, to predict. And I hate to say I've talked a few people out of doing this, but the ones that I've helped from soup to nuts, you have to understand you got to have a 6-month, a 1 year, a 3 year, a 5 year plan, and you got to have financing and be realistic about when you're going to get to positive cash flow, or you're going to die on the vine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and in this case, it sounds like there's a bit of a catch-22, right? Of how many days can you stay open? I think you mentioned she's open 3 days a week right now, right? If you want to, like, think about most traditional spas, they're open 7 days a week, and that's how. But that there are costs associated and overhead associated with opening every day. So I'm sure she's trying to manage that and figure out at what point can she start staying open more because she has enough business to justify it, and that's always a tough discussion for any small business owner.
Well, it's tough, and you need a large runway, and her initial opening was set to be for April, and so she needed a runway where she's paying bills, she's paying rent, she's paying all these expenses until September when she's finally open the doors, right? And so I kind of stand on the side of Dale, where I'm the no girl. First of all, I'm the compliance girl, but I'm also the licensing girl. And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to work, which sucks. Like, this is it's a hard road to toe. Like, this is not the best industry to make $1 million, but it is the quickest way to lose $1 million.
It kind of sparks another idea, for the states that are banning, hemp-derived products. Could this be a much more feasible idea to run like a salon, like with infused products, like on the CBD side, rather than on the THC side where you have less regulation?
Well, I think those are still allowable, right? Because most states are banning consumables, right? So if I put it in my hair, if I put it in my, whatever, if we give you a Jerry curl with a little bit of CBD on the side, Rico, I think you're okay.
Yeah, the topicals are not the consumables, ingestibles, correct.
It's all about that drip. You know what I'm saying?
Let your soul glow, Rico.
People still want to get high. And that's what is absent from all of these equations. Yeah, use all this different hemp shit, but people want to get high. Okay, they want to go there, they want to relax and have an experience, and CBD just doesn't do it. Mm-hmm. So again, the business plan, I've reviewed a bunch of them, and some of them you just got to throw in the trash because they're not realistic. It is difficult. It's easier to open up a regular business not knowing what you're doing than it is to go into cannabis, even if you know what you're doing, because of the vagaries of all these regulations and taxes. You can't just work extra time and fix this. You got to have money. Yep. Money comes with strings attached, and the strings attached to money today are just horrific. Horrific.
I mean, local regulators.
Bank financing. You can't just go to the Small Business Administration and get a small business loan like you can with, say, a coffee cart or a conventional business that Dale is talking about. And I think that's the issue. A lot of these entrepreneurs, they had this transformative experience with cannabis, and they have become evangelized, and they want to share their experience with other people, but they have insufficient capitalization. They don't have a long runway. And if the plane doesn't take off right away, then they're stuck and they might stall out and crash. And it's really sad to see somebody who poured their heart and soul and their life vision, create such a beautiful dream, bring it to life, and now nobody's buying for a multitude of factors, one of which is, an economy where the consumers right now, due to uncertainty, they don't know what chaos is going to come in the next month or so, are not spending. That's those are the reports I'm hearing as well, that dispensary sales are down in the short term right now because of a lot of consumer uncertainty, and it's politically instigated by chaos actors.
I would love, speaking of that, Omar, I would love to see like a breakdown of all the money that has been poured over the last 10 years, at least, of legalization, like all the money that's been poured into pro-cannabis political efforts, and what the return on that has been with actual pro-cannabis bills that have turned into law. I would love to see the discrepancy between money put in and the actual ROI on that bullshit.
Yeah, the results are minimal, right? Like we haven't seen actually any federal legislation make it over the finish line. Maybe other than Rohrabacher, that's really our consistent win.
Rohrabacher Beck.
Rohrabacher Farr.
Yeah.
Now,
one other thing I want to say too is
let's not call it after Rohrabacher. I think his time is gone, and he's a Russian operative these days.
No, that's not true. That's 500% fucking fake news, bro. Stop the cap.
On McClin talks about now.
Dana is a sweet man. Jason, did you ever share that picture of us the other night?
That you're not going to see that today.
I got a picture with Dana too, with Jason and Dana.
Yep.
It's the three of us at the Republican Women's Huntington Beach dinner.
Just the three of us.
Yeah, we had a good time.
No, this is a sad story, right? This is a woman of color who's losing her business, and her heart was in the right place, and unfortunately the funding and licensing and the business environment in Denver was not.
Yeah, on that point, like for local regulators need to understand that when they create this unnecessary bureaucracy and red tape, they're only hurting that business owner, but they're not actually stopping anything. When I was back in Denver in May for a wedding, my buddy and I went, and the one who's getting married went and got a manicure before the wedding. And what did we do? We sat outside on the sidewalk and smoked a joint before we went in there. So people are going to consume before they go to a spa or a salon or whatever, whenever they want to do that. So they're not actually preventing anything. They're just screwing over a small business owner who could be creating jobs and contributing to the local economy.
Absolutely.
Not capturing revenues, what they're doing.
Hey, Jason, are the conservatives doing anything to really help support women of color?
Always.